Cure has been so in form. He takes down a TY, he takes down Dark, and now he's going to be going up against the other big Terran, the only other big Terran in the tournament. Again, Maru was eliminated earlier. We're running out of Terrans, and Cure and ByuN, they have to knock each other out.
Yeah. But this does mean that the winner of the series absorbs the powers of the other. And until that happens, we are going to be kicking things off on Gressban. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, but also making his way across the map. We have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. Representing Shopify Rebellion, we have ByuN.
This is why Korean TvT is so much fun. Spawning the top left-hand corner of Gressban, we have the opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Abydos getting proxy 2-raxed. It is Cure.
And I was just gonna get into this whole thing of, I feel like if this is a straight-up game, Cure should be favored 100% of the time. I feel like Cure's TvT, his positional play and his aggression and whatnot is better than ByuN, so he should be able to win a straight-up TvT. And then ByuN decides to go for a 2-rax like this. I'm loving it here from ByuN.
Yeah, exactly. This is just very South Korean Terran. It's, whether it's Maru, whether it's ByuN, they are willing to proxy whenever in the series.
I will never forget GSL Season 1, 2018. Keen 2-0'd Maru in straight-up macro games. And so in the rematch, Maru just decided to 2-rax Reaper. Both games won.
Feels
he
keen,
almost didn't
man.
win his first Code S because of Keen.
Yeah, feels keen, man. Feels keen. Commander Keen, the TvT sniper, but Jesus, always a little bit different. As Cure does go for an SCV scout, he does confirm the gases, confirm that the first racks or the raxes are missing, and that something is amiss. He is going to be preparing back at home and just double checking, making sure that the rax wasn't thrown down at the natural.
Yeah, it's not too common nowadays to go for the fake-out barracks, but ByuN was, without a doubt, the pioneer of doing that just to make your opponents freak out, so it is worth it just to check here for Cure.
Yeah,
it's worth it for Cure just to check here.
It really is. And here we go. He pulls the boys as well, and already they are here to help buffer and support his one Reaper. Again, there's a window where ByuN is ahead in Reaper, so he straight up has more DPS, and that is why these SCVs are so necessary. And oh, there we go. He survives long enough for his next wave of Marines.
Yeah, 2 Marines are now out. More importantly, the Hellion is about halfway done. ByuN is still trying to... ByuN still has to get damage, and there's still potential for him, He can still micro, he can still make use of his KD8 charges. If there was any player who was gonna out-micro his way, who was gonna win against a composition like this, out of sheer micro, it would be ByuN, but, yeah, now the Hellion is out. ByuN has to think twice quite a bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to respect that Hellion, wait a little bit longer. He's waiting for another wave of Reapers, another round of Reapers before he tries to go back in. And when he does, his goal here is going to be to try and focus down said Hellions and reduce that splash damage. But he goes in, confirms the second Hellion, and pushing up this ramp isn't going to be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I would say even flat out impossible at this point. ByuN is gonna... Yeah, he's gonna stop this... He's going to stop this aggression for now, but he knows that he can still sort of contain Cure for as long as possible. He's getting his own natural back at home. Cure is forced to build one in his natural. Oh! The Reaper from Cure goes across the map and delays ByuN even further.
Yeah, there we go. One SCV goes down. He's going to get a second SCV as well. There is nothing at home for ByuN to defend other than that one Cyclone that's on the way, so some nice damage being done here by Cure.
And it's taking so long for it to pop out. ByuN goes on top of the ramp. He is trying desperately to find some kind of counter damage, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's another
preventing any SCVs from going down the ramp.
Exactly, and there we go. 2 more SCVs go down. Finally, the Cyclone does show up, and finally the Reaper will go down, but ByuN did sustain a lot of losses. Thankfully, he's getting his CC on the low ground, but my god, it is so delayed.
And a starport got delayed for quite some time as well.
Yeah, exactly. From this starport, I imagine we're going to be going into a medevac for a double cyclone drop, but we'll see what ByuN has in store for us. We'll see if he does try to keep up the aggression. Meanwhile, across the map, the Reapers are coming back in.
Yeah, nice little bit of distraction there with the barracks, but now we have a lot of Hellions. Now we have a lot of Marines. ByuN is able to escape with the majority of his forces, but this is just about the end of that. Yeah, that's a Liberator. He is hiding.
He's trying to just suck it in, and here we go. He does go up the ramp. Well, the Marines were waiting for him. 3 of these Reapers go down immediately, but another 2 do manage to slip into the main base. They're going to be able to get a full scout, maybe pick up an SCV.
Maybe. I just love the safety, the caution coming out here from Cure. He knows that there are only 2 paths for those Reapers, and so he made sure to plug up both of them. That is... Yeah, we're not actually getting medevac just yet coming out from ByuN. It's, in fact, going to be a Liberator into a Viking. So these Cyclones are going to be more defensive? Yeah, they're going to be more defensive.
Yeah, it was really interesting. ByuN, he started the medevac initially, and then he canceled it in favor of this Liberator. So he thought better of utilizing these Cyclones offensively, maybe just trying to be a little bit more safe and secure instead, looking for some more longevity in this game as he has some catching up to do, and this Liberator has a lot of workers to kill.
Oh, yeah. ByuN surprisingly has been able to maintain a roughly equal worker count here. A roughly equal worker count to Cure, and he's even getting his 3rd CC a little bit quicker. Problem is, Cure has been able to just tech up a lot quicker and get his own production facilities much faster.
Yeah, again, Cure has been mining far longer here with a little bit more. Meanwhile, he tries to dip in with a bit of a Hellion drop, but no, there is a Viking position to deny him. At the same time, Liberator dives into the main base. Cure does spot it, he reacts, but he will lose 1 SCV.
Not too bad, not too bad. There's a lot of lost mining time coming out here.
A lot of lost mine time as Cure is sending it through the middle of the map. What do we have to defend? We have 3 tanks back at home here for ByuN. We do have a Raven that will soon have a disable, but only 1.
Yeah, I'm really digging the tank positioning coming out from ByuN. Liberator gets another kill as these Cyclones make their way across the map to wreak whatever havoc they can.
Oh yeah, the Liberator does go down in the end, but ByuN is going to be quite threatening with the Cyclones. Does get 2 Marines immediately, but now Cure is focusing on his main push. He goes to the scan. He does see all 3 of those tanks, and I don't know if we can really break in, as we do now have a 4th tank joining the fray.
4th tank and a handful of Vikings is all ByuN needs right now to be able to ward Cure away.
Exactly, as Cure back at home is still working on his own 3rd CC, and at least his army was able to threaten the 3rd base of ByuN and threaten that location at least, and it looks like he's trying to hunt down these Cyclones.
Might as well, yeah. Just get that off his back for the time being. Be a little bit safer than he already is.
Here the Cyclones go down, and finally Cure is able to take his 3rd base a little bit faster than ByuN, but ByuN not too far behind. The other interesting thing is that even though Cure has had this starport with this reactor for quite some time, we haven't started Viking production really, so ByuN is going to have that map control. Does have quite a lead in that Viking count.
Pretty massive lead, all things considered.
Oh yeah, exactly. And because of that, the Raven of Cure is going to have a hard time finding damage. I mean, there's so much energy on this Raven. It is so valuable. It's so important. Hopefully, it's able to actually get its spells off, as again, ByuN is going to be threatening it quite a bit here with his Vikings.
Yeah, and even beyond that, just having those Vikings for vision will also allow him to win the tank battles here and there. They are currently patrolling outside the main base. He's really paranoid about a drop coming his way, but once the sensor tower finishes up, ByuN should confirm that, wait a minute, there's actually an army not too far outside my base.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the one advantage that Cure has, is instead of Vikings initially, he made 3 medevacs. That isn't enough to doom drop everything, but it's enough to drop at least. So ByuN is aware, he's a little bit paranoid, he wants to make sure that that is not the case here in Cure. He's looking for another way in, he's going to try and lay siege upon the third.
Yeah, he knows he has the upgrade advantage for the time being, so he wants to utilize this window of opportunity and really pounce on top of ByuN, but like you said, he's just not finding an entry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it takes out Sensor Tower.
It does at least do that. It's going to take away some of the vision here of ByuN as he rotates back around. Going to be clearing up whatever Marines he can.
Aww.
Oh,
This poor depot.
It's alive.
Even when it completes, it's going to be on fire.
It's on 1 HP down there. 1 HP depot as Cure is going to be trying to get in range of these gas geysers as well. And it looks like he should be able to.
Yeah, but without any Vikings here, he is going to be very reliant on scans to give him vision to attack anything, really.
Yeah, there we go. A turret and a gas geyser go down. Cure rotating over, looking for another way in. Meanwhile, ByuN likewise has just been macroing on back at home. We have a 4th CC on the way, continuing Marine production. I believe we have stopped Vikings, just 5 for the time being. We actually went into medevac production from there.
Yeah. Super important unit to get the medevac here. Cure is still allergic to Vikings, apparently, for the time being. ByuN, he's got a good mix. He's got a couple of medevacs. He's got not too many Vikings, but enough to give him the air dominance. Cure is maxed out with 0 Vikings.
Yeah, Cure has a pretty insane Marine count right now, and he does have them here towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map. He's looking for a way in, looking to try and pull apart the army of ByuN, as Cure does have the army lead.
The depot went down.
No. It's possible that ByuN may have even cancelled it, like at it.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what happened.
So you see Cure coming in from 2 angles, forcing ByuN to split up his army. The majority of his tanks are sieged up outside his natural, not so much here at the third.
Yeah, Cure is really flexing his Cure is really flexing his supply advantage right now. He's taking complete map control. He's expanded to a 4th base, and now he's securing his 5th before ByuN is even able to land his own 4th base. Yeah,
and he can't because, you know what, Marines are spread all over the place. Cure has just so much of that map control that you were saying. To be fair, as time goes on, ByuN is also looking to max out. He's on the cusp of doing so. He's now catching up in the 2-2 upgrades for the Bio Army. So this could still go either way. This is still all about positioning, all about that one big fight that we have been deprived of so far.
All about these tanks. As Cure dips his toes into the water a little bit, but sees all of the entire army of ByuN. Both players are now maxed out, but ByuN will have an upgrade lead when it comes to the army supply. Great disables on top of these tanks will allow Cure to get into position of that orbital command. I'm surprised it's an orbital and not planetary.
Yeah, a little bit greedy there. At the same time, Cure is trying to push in towards the 3rd base. Oh, an overextension with these Vikings. Every single Viking goes down, and that does open things up for a drop.
All of a sudden, our players have the same amount of Vikings. Cure still a little bit hesitant to get on top of these tanks. He knows that the Marines are pretty nearby. ByuN's going for a massive counterattack run by with these Marines, and now Cure has a decision to make. Go back home or go for a drop like this, and he decides to go for the drop.
Yeah, he does drop on top of the tanks at the same time. The mass Marine from ByuN goes for the counterattack. There are no tanks back at home. 1 CC goes down. We've got the Natural's going to be going down as well, and ByuN is going straight for the main.
Is this just going to kill Cure?
This could.
This is going to kill all of the production. I think Cure can still go for a base trade if he wanted to, or he could turn around and, yeah, this should be fine. This should be fine.
Yeah, we have a massive anti-armor missile. The Dorito dust on the Bio Army of ByuN is insane. He will lose everything, but he did kill 2 bases and 17 workers.
2 whole bases, 17 workers. I think a barracks went down or something like that, but yeah, that could have been disastrous here from Cure, and thankfully he does keep this game going. He was in control for the vast majority of the game, but finally, ByuN finds a way to make him slip a little bit.
Yeah, and what's important is that ByuN, he lost a lot of supply doing that, but it was pure marine, right? So, like, there were no tanks there. He did preserve his tank count. It is quite comparable to that of Cure's as he's moving out once again. He does scan the army.
Yeah, ByuN is making 12 Marines at a time. Marines are the most expendable unit that he has right now. He has so many barracks and so many reactors. These tanks do need to be kept alive. Cure is now going across the map and getting worker damage of his own. A lot of worker damage. He even kills the 4th base of ByuN. ByuN is starving right now. He spent his entire bank, and he doesn't have anywhere near the same amount of income as Cure.
Yeah, ByuN basically said, all right, screw it, I'm going to be losing a base back at home. I may lose another base back at home, but no, I'm committing to the push instead. He does outposition Cure for a moment. He is able to siege up here a little bit faster than his opponent. He even has the high ground.
Yeah, but his high ground tanks are very, very exposed. ByuN walks into a choke point a little bit and does take quite a few hits on these Marines. This planetary fortress will go down, however, and that opens up a couple of avenues of attack here for ByuN.
Really does. Meanwhile, that Marine army from Cure finds another CC. He is going to be able to focus it down, and it will crumble. The defenses of ByuN not quite good enough. He does have an upgrade advantage. ByuN does have 3-3, but no, he pulls the boys and loses them, most of them. Oh my god.
Oh no. ByuN says, screw it. I might as well get rid of the boys so I can have more Marines to attack. He actually has a very significant army supply advantage, but Cure has a much more sophisticated army. He can get, because of his economy, he's now getting Liberators, he's now getting Vikings. He surprisingly is lacking a little bit when it comes to the upgrades. I didn't even notice that ByuN got 3-3 much quicker than Cure.
Yeah, again, Cure, he does have the supply disadvantage here, so ByuN has the better army. We do see ByuN also moving out with a second army here, and it looks like this fresh mining base of Cure is going to be going down. It's a planetary, so it's going to survive a little bit longer, but the tanks are in position.
They are in position, and ByuN loses a couple of Marines taking that planetary down, but the important thing is it does go down. Cure is now looking to starve out. ByuN is looking to starve out Cure a little bit, trying to go for the Doom Drop, but he sees too many air units. I wonder if it would have been worth it just to cruise through that. Vikings.
It depends. There were a lot of Liberators. At the same time, the tanks towards the southern side are left exposed. The Marines take them all out. The planetary is going to be falling as well, and meanwhile, we do Doom Drop into the main.
That's what I'm talking about, but this time the Doom Drop isn't quite as effective by the looks of things. One medevac full of units did go down, but there are still 4 tanks and 16 Marines in the main base of Cure.
Yeah, but we have
Cure
Liberators
slowly falling apart.
Yeah,
well, slowly.
We have no answer to the Libs, so the main base army is going to be going down for ByuN. At the same time, he's going to be laying siege upon the natural base as well, dropping in towards the third.
Yo, who needs tank evacs if you can just position your tanks as well as ByuN right now? If you know that you can get away, if you absolutely know the positions where you can drop your tanks and have them safe to siege up.
Yeah, exactly. Like ByuN, he's just all over this, and even though Cure is cleaning up some of these forces, he is knocked down to 3 mining bases. ByuN has another
3
standing army. Yeah, not even 3. We're running out of money. Cure, his hand is being forced in this massive chaotic situation. ByuN, it's where he thrives, but Cure still has a shot. He still has a chance.
Yeah, he's still looking for an opportunity. He scans, he sees the main army of ByuN. But what can he do in this position? He needs to get his Libs and his tank sieged up and not lose them unnecessarily. 2 Marines just like that. ByuN with a very cheeky catch here as everything is unsieged.
He catches a Liberator, he catches a tank as well. At the same time, Cure is pushing on forward. Well, he does catch ByuN on siege for a moment there, but you see Cure gaining some ground.
And a very important bit of ground, but it's still the low ground, and it's still a position that ByuN is more than willing to fight in. Cure hasn't quite spotted the 4th base of ByuN just yet. ByuN, I mean, we're talking about Cure being knocked down to less than 3 mining bases, but ByuN isn't in a fantastic position either when it comes to income.
Yeah, he floated over his main base over towards that 4th base location, so he doesn't have a lot of CCs. Meanwhile, oh my god, ByuN loses so many Marines!
Yeah, very risky maneuver here from ByuN. He knew that the Marines won him, did him a lot of service earlier on, and now he's losing the drop army that he had in the middle of the map. Cure just turns around, completely surrounds that, and all of a sudden, look at an army supply difference. ByuN's main advantage for the vast majority of this game was the fact that he was able to have a higher army supply, and now Cure has a significant army supply lead.
And in the last couple of moments, Cure was just trading too efficiently, and ByuN was making too many mistakes, and now ByuN is down in that army supply, is down in the Marines, down in the tanks. He splits up an army though, looking to maybe try to catch some reinforcements or go for a counterattack. A very risky move as Cure reads him so well. He also has another army here looking for him or just rotating around.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say the Marine run by can be very unexpected and can catch a lot of units, but oh, actually, yeah, ByuN goes in for a complete surround. Cure is completely unsieged, but Cure just has way too much army supply at this point. A brilliant decision there from ByuN, but he just miscalculated his how much supply he actually needed there. GG is called, and Cure wins that game, but that was way closer than it should have been. Cure was in complete control since the start of the game, except for the part where ByuN was able to go for a massive counterattack and knock him down to less than 3 mining bases, even threatened the production quite a bit. That, I feel like Cure winning that game was very much so expected, but ByuN was able to put up a very, very tough fight.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was an insane fight in the end, and Cure takes a 1-0 lead. Oh boy, but he had to fight so incredibly hard for it. Things got really chaotic really quickly. We were going for base trade after base trade, you know, mass Marine run-bys into bases left and right from both players. But at the end of it, Cure was able to kind of flex not just his army composition, but also his upgrades as well. He caught up in 3-3, but he also had +3 vehicle attack as well. So even though those tanks got unsieged, they were doing a surprising amount of damage, as you saw, right? Like we saw somehow Cure was able to overcome the surround, overcome the positioning of ByuN.
Yeah, we were like, no, the tanks are on siege, and he's getting surrounded, and he's like, dude, I don't even need to siege.
True, Bobby, true. Aye. Oh, let's go.
He's like, see, he's surrounding me with barely anything. I could just take him out. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our series. One that I was worried would be a little bit too one-sided, but after game number 1, those worries have been quashed. We are continuing on to Ancient Cistern. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning. All the way in the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea, representing Shopify Rebellion. He is ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, currently leading the series 1-0. It's the South Korean Terran representing Team Abydos. It is Cure.
Been looking so solid throughout this entire evening, and even looked very solid in that first game that we saw. It almost slipped from his grasp, but I really don't think Cure is going to be satisfied with anything other than a finals appearance, and even then, he's still the favorite to win this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, God, that was such a close game overall. It really could have gone either way, to be fair. But Cure is the one who has been, I don't know, really impressing us recently with so much that's been happening. And yeah, that was just a wild game.
Yeah. I feel like we like to think of TvT as kind of the least coin flippy of the mirror matches, and in many ways that is very much true, but it's still a mirror matchup, and some would argue that TvT, while not being as coin flippy, is a mirror matchup where the pendulum can swing very, very quickly. Arguably even more so than ZVZ and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw it. Go on.
Yeah, we kind of saw that with ByuN when he was able to, once he recognized that Cure had all of his tanks sieged up outside of his base, once he recognized, wait a minute, I can just keep my tanks in position, defending against any Marines that come my way. There's one path that I can sneak my Marines out and just go for a huge counterattack. The pendulum swung over to ByuN. He almost took it then. He almost took it then and there, but yeah, it's a matchup where a lot can change very, very quickly.
Exactly. Like the Marine and the tank just have such high DPS output where if one player outpositions the other, then that can really end incredibly quickly. And we saw that even earlier today a little bit with Cure versus TY. We've seen it in weeks past where one push moves in and hey, if you don't see it coming, like the game just ends then and there. So yeah, because it can be a really volatile matchup in a bit of a different way, and yeah, we'll see where this all ends up in the end. Hopefully we get all 3 games. Hopefully we get an ace match.
Yeah, I think you nailed onto something over there where TvT is very volatile, specifically because of Marines and tanks. Some of the most versatile and best units in the game, but overall just the units that I think have the highest DPS. So engagements can be over in just a second, and if the player who comes out of the engagement as with more units alive is going to be able to keep up that momentum and keep moving across the map. And as this goes on, thank you very much, Blakerdoos, for the tip, elite tip, very, very fitting after the game you just saw.
We appreciate it, Blakerdoos. As you know what, Curious doing the build again. This is how he killed TY in game number 2. We do see the mind shot going to be going off here from ByuN taking defensive position. He does have a Cyclone back at home and a wave of Marines. It looks like he should have enough to hold on. He will not be caught out by this opener from Cure.
Yeah, Cure is forced to evacuate here. 2 of his Hellions go down, but each of his Reapers are still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
He still has a bit of map control. So.
Yeah, he still has a little bit of map control. He at least took down the Widow Mine as well that came out from ByuN. Oh, but we have survived the early game. ByuN will not pull a TY. He won't just die to the initial push.
He won't question Mark. Yeah.
Aye. Oh god, so we're gonna be able to settle down from here and yeah, get into a much more standard game. I just to wind things back. Game 1, it started with ByuN proxy raxing, right? Am I crazy? Was that long ago?
Yeah. Proxy 2 Rax Reaper. That's what ByuN did. This time it's a more straight up game, which I kind of appreciate, I was definitely of the opinion that the pressure would be more on ByuN to try to switch things up and to try to, or not necessarily switch things up, but, to go for some cheesy, non-standard builds. But after game number 1, where despite his 2 Rax Reaper getting completely caught out and defended against, he was still able to make it close. I think ByuN is now feeling much more confident in just playing out the series in a standard way.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see if he can pull that off, as we do see a little bit of a skirmish, and ByuN will take control of his area at his 3rd base. Can finally land it as well, as it is still on the way, is still in production. As we get into this, a massive shout out to Ranger in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great ladder session, a great stream. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Hearts in the chat coming down here. Hearts in the chat. I apologize for forgetting to remind you about KungFu Cup, but yeah, we hope you had a good stream regardless.
There you go. Hope you had a great time in the end, as we do find ourselves in this TvT. As a reminder, the winner of this series already has an opponent waiting for them. Solar took down Gumiho 2-0.
It's been waiting so long for an opponent. I think he beat Gumiho just as we loaded into game number 1.
Yeah. I mean, This is the slow. We already have someone in the semis. Like this is the slowest series. We found ourselves in some of the longer series in the bracket. So yeah, it's all good.
We do have somebody in the semis. Yeah, impressive. This is of course Max Fax that we're talking about, who almost made it to the semifinals to the grand finals last week. Sorry. But did get cured.
He was sick and he got cured in the end. He is feeling well, and that's gonna mean that he he wasn't able to make it to the finals. So
he wasn't able to use that germ warfare.
There you go, mate. There you go.
He's able to sneeze on his opponent.
Shaking my head, these dirty Protoss players. As he's waiting in the semifinals for the winner of Hero versus Reynor. I'm sure that's being covered by another stream. Plenty of other English streamers out there, but we still have ourselves this TvT. Things just kind of winding up in the mid game, more of a passive kind of lead up into it.
Yeah, much more standard. Not 100% mirrored, but both our players do have kind of same overall strategy here. Just go up to 3 bases, get the center towers, you know, build units, get upgrades, and I'm curious to see who's going to be the first player to pull the trigger. Cure goes across the map with a cheeky little drop.
Yeah, we've got a double drop here that does get scattered by ByuN. We do see a Raven or a couple of Ravens waiting in the main base as well, so they're going to be able to throw down some disables or even some auto turrets. So Cure has to be careful with how he does engage, but really he's just looking to clean up any spotted Marines, to just kind of deny the vision here of ByuN.
Yeah. It's kind of like clearing up creep in a TvZ, except the creep fights back this time.
Exactly. As they're kind of going to be scanning each other, we see ByuN looking for the drops, looking for the army. He's going to be moving out with his forces. Looking at the unit tab here, we do have 6 tanks, quite a lot of Marines, and 2 Ravens full of energy.
Yes, he just about misses the army here of Cure. Cure scouts this, however, and will be turning around with everything he's got.
Yeah, we just see ByuN trying to push through the center of the map, but no, there are tanks waiting for him. We have a massive anti-armor missile as well. ByuN is forced back. There's no way up the ramp, and he's got to be careful not to be caught out here because his army is looking quite vulnerable.
Yeah, especially with that anti-armor missile. You just know Cure wants to pounce on top of this army on the low ground, but ByuN is playing this out pretty safe. Opening up his pathways of attack.
There we go, just setting things up. At the same time, Cure was able to delay the 4th CC of ByuN, and it still has not resumed building. There we go, another SCV is pulled over, so ByuN can finally work on his own 4th. Meanwhile, Cure already has his up and fully operational, is being morphed into a planetary.
That's going to give Cure quite a lead when it comes to the economy going forward.
Really is. We do see the tanks getting into position. We do see ByuN picking up and immediately just going for a jump all the way into the main.
Yeah, he knows that this is where the bulk of Cure's army is at. Completely avoids that missile turret because nobody expects the medevac from the 3rd base.
Exactly, and it does get a lot of damage. It does pull away a lot of the army of Cure as well. Meanwhile, at the same time, we had a couple of disables, and ByuN gets in range. He does take down 2 of the tanks of Cure.
Pretty good. Again, tanks are the backbone of the Terran army, especially in a TvT like this, so anything you can do to really mitigate the tank count is going to be massive. Cure setting up for either a massive surround or a huge counter harass. Does get scanned though by ByuN.
Yeah, he does scan it, he does see it, he does have reinforcements back at home. He has 3 tanks as well. He should be perfectly fine when it comes to a counterattack. He should be fine when it comes to surround as well because he does have plenty of Marines here behind his tanks.
Yeah, there's no way Cure can really engage into this without that Marine count being dealt with first. Neither player actually has medevacs. Cure is building Viking, sorry. Cure is building 1 Viking now.
There we go, 1 Viking is on the way. Meanwhile, Cure is expanding towards the northern side of the map, so he is sneaking out of base as this kind of container is being set up. And Cure is actually reinforcing this army towards the north as well. He's got his Ravens, he's got his tanks. He is looking to push in, looking to kind of force a weird base trade if he can. Oh.
And there are only 4 tanks over here, and there's plenty of energy on these Ravens for disables and whatnot. ByuN is forced to turn around, and he gets a massive anti-armor missile on top of this army, but so does Cure. A couple of tanks of Cure do get caught out of position without a Marine buffer, but Cure mostly keeps his army alive. He still has his force outside of ByuN's base, and not only that, he completely breaks the contain that ByuN set up.
Yeah, fun fact, both players actually killed each other's ravens in that fight.
So, and that was a fight without Vikings on either side.
It's true, it's true. So no ravens did survive that. We do see Cure going for his own counterattack, though. He's going to be able to take down this turret and lay siege upon this planetary. ByuN is turning back around, is looking to try and engulf this in some way, but the planetary goes down almost instantly. Oh my god.
Yeah, ByuN, he thought he could save the planetary fortress. That's why we saw the Marines move back a little bit, but thinks better of it in the end. A little bit indecisive, which is not really what I'm used to seeing here from ByuN. He's keeping his Marines in the middle of the map while he figures out a use for them.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Cure is setting up another counterattack force. Meanwhile, ByuN, ooh, he takes some tank shots to the face. Ooh.
Yeah, great bait coming out here from Cure. I just want to point out that both of our players have at least 10 tanks right now, and neither one of them is playing mech. That is an insane amount of tanks, an absurd amount of tanks for Bio versus Bio.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's just so much to work with right now, and we do see Cure looking for another way, and meanwhile ByuN has been kind of having a rough time here, trying to take finally a fourth base, but he's being contained. Two armies looking to sandwich him.
Yeah. It's a quadruple bread sandwich. Wait, I recognize what you mean now. That's, yeah. I thought you meant like there were going to be two sandwiches going on. I was like, oh. But no, you meant there were two armies, so it's more like really thick slices of bread and not 4 slices.
Yeah, that toast slice bread, you know?
Yeah.
As you do see the planetary going to be going down here, but that was the 5th base, not the 4th. At the same time, though, a triple drop here towards the right-hand side of the map. Cure is being pulled apart. He was hyper-focused in the middle, and now he's, falling apart at the seams.
Oh. Yeah, Planetary Fortress wasn't quite done yet, so there's going to be a lot of damage over there by that base. Very decisive attack here, though, from Cure, getting on top of every single tank. Cure's going to be able to chase us back, but at the cost of 1 CC and 16 SCVs.
Yeah, but Cure has the bigger army. He almost reset the tank count. That was the important part. So many tanks for ByuN did just go down, and now Cure has a lot of momentum going his way. He did lose some bases, but he still has the better army as he catches another tank of ByuN.
That is the volatility of Marines and tanks that we were talking about at the start of the series. One good engagement can absolutely swing everything in the defending, in the disadvantaged player's favor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And now Cure has the tank lead. He's up 4 tanks compared to ByuN, but it's still going to be about the positioning in the end. We do see ByuN looking for his way in through the center of the map. Cure does spot this. He does siege.
After a certain point, the number of tanks that you have doesn't matter anywhere near as much as the positioning of those tanks, and that is something that ByuN is keenly aware of. He's making the absolute best use of his tanks to try to zone away the main army of Cure while he goes for a massive doom drop across the map.
Yeah, no fear whatsoever. It looks like ByuN is going to be losing another tank in the middle of the map, but he goes for the quadruple drop. He's going to be able to get and focus down this CC.
Or he's going to try, as Cure did catch us pretty early on. The CC should go down. Marine's getting a little bit distracted. SCVs are repairing, and the CC will live. ByuN loses, what's 8 times 4? I can't even think about it right now. He loses 4 medevacs full of units for nothing.
He loses 4
32
medevacs full of Marines. There you go. At the same time, ooh, a little bit of mispathing there. One tank almost does go down. ByuN is going for a massive counterattack at the same time. So is Cure.
We are getting a full-on base trade as Cure is feeling confident enough in his reinforcements to go for a counterattack like this. There actually aren't too many Marines here in Cure's army. It's mostly just these tanks.
Yeah, but the same can be said for ByuN. Likewise, doesn't have too many Marines, does take down the planetary, but Cure has the larger army. He wedges himself in between the natural, the 3rd, and the 4th. He has control of the center of all these bases from ByuN.
This is the cornerstone positioning here for the Terran player, just sieging up in the middle of every single base that your opponent's got. And we can see the reinforcements, no matter where they position themselves, ByuN is taking damage somehow. The same cannot be said for Cure, who had a couple of defenses back home. He forces ByuN to turn around with what little forces he has left. And ByuN has to think of something, but there really aren't any good options available for him here.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN is making medevacs. He can maybe go for another Doom drop, but regardless, it looks like he's even losing control of his own natural and his own main base as well. The third CC is forced to be lifted up. Meanwhile, we do see ByuN's army across the map is barely an army. He's only got 4 tanks and a handful of Marines to counterattack.
Yeah, it's like one Liberator can pretty much deal with this, but Cure has 2 Liberators, 6 Ravens actually, that have energy on them, plus a whole bunch of tanks and Marines on the ground. I thought we were going to get a very close game, and don't get us wrong, this has been pretty close so far, but Cure has just re-established his dominance in this particular match.
Yeah, I mean, he transitioned to the late game. You know, this is when we go into triple Raven production, where we go full tank Raven, almost nothing else. You were talking about it before. Very few Marines available for Cure, but his army is just that much more complex, that much more robust. ByuN is setting up for what looks to be maybe a surround as he's moving out with the rest of his army.
He's going to try to surround 17 tanks with the 5 tanks he has himself. So that's going to be a tough ask, to say the least.
Yeah, he's actually going for a counterattack kill. He wants to kill that planetary. He's upset. It lived earlier.
He has a vendetta to make.
Like, mate, that CC may have lived earlier, but I'm going to kill it before the game ends. I'm going for it, Bobby. I'm going for it.
He doesn't mind tapping out as long as he takes out this CC. And he will be able to get it. ByuN is at peace. But will he able to keep this going?
I mean, I'm sure he's content now, as it looks like he tries to sneak out the top left-hand base, but it looks like it will be found out by Cure. He's going to be able to shut down any kind of mining, any kind of bases there towards the top left. At the same time, his army has repositioned, and ByuN's forces can't really gain any more ground.
Yeah, how many tanks are over here? 3, up as that top left base goes down. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks. Okay, there's 8 tanks over here and 8 tanks outside of ByuN's bases. So, yeah, there's really no way for ByuN to get much of anything done. We see him trying to go for a surround, but it's 8 tanks! Come on, you're not going to be able to surround that.
I mean, it's the only thing he can do. He does dive on top of the tanks. He's going to be able to take down the majority of them, but here come the reinforcements. GG gets called, and Cure, he takes the 2-0 and eliminates ByuN.
53 boys were pulled into their doom that last game. In that final engagement over there, GG, very well played. This was a much closer series than what I was anticipating, just getting into it. But Cure, I mean, he's the favorite tonight for a reason. He is so in form. He was mad that game number 1 got that close. In game number 2, he tightened himself up so much more. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit here at the start of game number 2. You know, ByuN, he was playing straight up, and I thought that was the right call for him. You know, game number 1, despite his proxy being completely deflected, was very close. I thought, okay, ByuN, he's feeling confident, and I think he can take a game if he plays close up. But in hindsight, maybe not so much, as that game didn't look quite as close as game number 1.
Yeah, much more dominating performance there by our Korean Terran, by Cure. Again, he took down Dark earlier in the broadcast. Now he takes down ByuN, some of the best Terrans and Zerg players in the world. And he's not done, because he's up against another South Korean Zerg player. When you think about the best of the best in Korea, it's Dark and Solar.
Indeed, Dark and Solar have been dominating in Korea, and yeah, Solar, now that he knows that Dark's about to go into the military, it seems like he himself has been tightening up his play a lot. He is looking to be the undisputed #1 Zerg player in Korea, and hopefully the world as well.